Hi, everyone. Welcome, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar, Finding Your Voice in the Cloud, Enabling Calling in Microsoft Teams with Operator Connect, co-hosted by NTT and Microsoft. I'm Anna, your Digital Event Specialist of NTT Limited, your MC today. Just a few housekeeping notes before we get started. You have been placed in a listen-only mode. If you have any questions during the presentation, you can raise it in the questions box and our speakers will answer them in the Q&A session after the fireside chat. This webinar is being recorded. We will share the on-demand version with you after the webinar. There will be an online survey after the webinar. Just stay with us till the end of the webinar, answer a few questions, and you can win a Grab e-card. Plus, you will have a chance to get a free trial of Operator Connect and a free one-on-one modernized communication workshop. Let me introduce the speakers of today's webinar. We have Kenneth Chong, Director for Modern Work Enterprise from Microsoft. He will be sharing insights of the landscape around a secure remote work and what's new on Teams calling. Praveen Kohli, Senior Platform Architect, GTM, Managed Network and Collaboration Services, NTT Limited, will deep dive into what Operator Connect is and how, when coupled with NTT services, we can help address your business challenges. Then on our panelist discussion, moderated by Fiona Yeo, Director of Managed Network and Collaboration Services at NTT. We are also delighted to have with us Miu Cheng, Vice President, Technology Infrastructure at OCBC Bank, to share with us her story in deploying Teams calling for OCBC Bank. Now, without further ado, we'll pass the time over to Kenneth to kickstart today's session. Kenneth, please.
To actually optimize IT budget, but yet at the same time provide an uncompromised platform that allows your organization to scale and move. Now, on this platform, I think if you look at where we are today, right, using Teams per se, you're actually having that pre-coordination work that I was having with NTT, the chats that's actually happening, and right now, and immersive conversations that we're actually happening over video and voice and content as well. Now, as you look at where, we talk about Microsoft Teams, the capability and all that you actually have over here is the fact of where it as a single platform, it as actually an application, a singular user interface that allows you to collaborate, to communicate your meetings, your calls, your co-sharing of files, your asynchronous and synchronous chats that's actually happening is all aggregated in a single platform. And we continue to actually work towards augmenting this platform for the customers. Why? Basically, I think what you have actually seen is that over 270 million customers that's actually monthly active on Teams. And you actually see, for example, for phones, you have over 12 million customers that's active users in terms of Team phones as well. And this is actually part of the conversations we're going to have over here. And I'm going to have Praveen to actually double down in terms of one of the service offering of Operator Connect that we have and we would like to share with you. Now, this just in light of where we see in terms of insights, but let's look at in terms of where Gartner as a third party and analyst actually sees us in a UCaaS platform, where Microsoft is now the leader in terms of the quadrant, where we actually deliver Teams as a premium service for customers for communications as well. Now, the next thing where you actually be looking at is how do I get there? How do I actually now, make myself available or rather be part of the pack, and how do I consume this service? Now, there are different ways where you can actually be consuming the Teams phone service. And I think where we want to unpack today is really where the connectivity from an operator side of it, a partner like NTT, gives you that agility in terms of time to market, that provisioning, the uptime, as well as scaling on top of the platform in terms of delivery. So this is actually where, I'm going to leave the interesting part and all to Praveen to actually unpack Operator Connect for you as one of the service over here. Now, as we actually look at the next thing is where we want to actually talk about, the infusion of what we talk about, the flexible work as well as AI. Now, some of you may have actually heard of, for example, I want an intelligent meeting. I want the capabilities of where, Chat GPT or rather GPT gets infused in here. And the other one where we talk about, the things that's actually personalized to me as a user, as well as the one in any organizations, there is sensitive data that you want to actually protect. And this actually, how do I actually have a platform that do all these three together? Now, as we actually look at that, right, I still do a bit of a reflection of where we are, right? meeting today with the 252% increase in meetings that's actually happening right now is just not going to be sustainable from in the likes of how we actually operate, the information overload that we talked about earlier as part of the WTI findings. The other thing is in terms of there's no one single platform out there today that can actually deliver all in one as an aggregated portion, and Teams is able to do that. Now, as you talk about in terms of meetings, for example, product launches, embargo informations, and all that you actually have, how can I actually ensure a meeting in a hybrid world of both in-person and virtual is actually protected? Now, so where we actually have launched is Teams Premium, which actually infused GPT as part of the AI functionality that allows you as a participant actually enjoy the capability of that. First thing, let's look at focus on contents, focus on the discussions and everything over there, and think of it that, you know, the intelligent recap basically is an AI capability that comes in as part of Teams Premium, allowing you to look at a recap of the meeting, the action items, the suggested action items and tasks that happens post-meeting, as well as a transcription that actually is part of the session as well. Think of translation, particularly in the regional world that you actually work in, breaking down the language barriers that with the leverage of AI. And of course, the very basic function in terms of where we talk about the intelligent, in terms of the watermarking features that actually protects your content. This is actually part of the box from out of Teams Premium. Now, the other one, let's talk about branding and everything as we talk about, you know, how you personalize the meetings again. Think of the lobby and everything that you could actually personalize your landing page to yourself, to your organization over there, as well as scaling beyond that in terms of business functions or rather business operations that Teams Premium could provide. For example, virtual appointments that you can actually help as part of a customer care, right? In terms of customer and engagements and all as well. Now, last but not least, think of the other two platforms of where webinars could actually be delivered using Teams Premium as well as ECDM for content delivery. Now, what I've done is basically gave you a bit of a spectrum of the contents or rather the evolution of the landscape today, where you actually look at in terms of the capabilities that you can actually, as an organization, will need and the solution that actually best fits you today as part of your communication core. Now, as I actually leave you in terms of some of the contents, you can actually look at the Work Trend Index that was just published. And this is actually at WorkLab, Microsoft.com/WorkLab is where you can actually find the full contents in terms of the research paper, where we talk about the evolution of AI. Now, what I'm going to do next is really going to thank you for the session, but more importantly, passing you over to Praveen, who actually has, I think, a couple of polling questions to actually set the stage as we unpack that for Operator Connect. Over to you, Praveen.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kenneth. That was quite an insightful. And we all know the importance of AI in this world, right? And Microsoft has done a brilliant job introducing AI in the EX space as well. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this session. My name is Praveen. I'm the technical pre-sales consultant working here in Singapore with NTT Limited. Before I begin with my session, I think we have a few polling questions. Let's start with the first one. Anna, would you mind sharing the polling question?
Yes, one moment, please.
Yeah. Okay.
Polling question has been launched.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So very simple question we have on the screen. How many of you are thinking to migrate your voice to Microsoft Teams? Yeah, because that's why you all are in this session, right? But we would still like to know how many of you are looking for that option. Okay, haha, it is clearly, we can see that around 90% people are responding to yes, which is a good sign. I think you are in the right session then. Perfect. Thank you so much. Let me go ahead with my session. So let's talk about Operator Connect and the Teams telephony aspect. So basically, what Microsoft has come up with is a PSTN portion within the Microsoft Teams itself. And there are multiple ways how we can deploy Microsoft Teams telephony. So whether it's a cloud-based solution or on-premise solution, so we will discuss all that in this session. So let's talk about what are the day-to-day or general requirements or challenges every customer is currently facing in terms of telephony systems. So when we talk to every customer, every client of ours, what we see that there are two pillars, right? An IT pillar and a business pillar. So most of the IT admins are looking out for less or no on-premise infrastructure, right? They want everything to be moved into cloud because that's where the future is. And the second challenge, what we see is since they want to move to cloud, they want to make sure that the solution what we are proposing or what they are adopting, it's completely secure. And the next challenge they are facing is while adopting this solution, how do we implement it so that your day-to-day activities, day-to-day business is not affected, and even your day-to-day activity of your employees are not affected. And the next biggest challenge what we see is once the solution is implemented, how do we adopt it? How do we make sure that the users are actually using that service or using the solution what you are deploying? And on the business front, on the right-hand side, what you say is mainly business things that moving to cloud is always complex. It's not that easy. They are also worried about the operational excellence, how to make sure that we save on the cost. So how to make it more cost optimized. So save on capex and opex price. And also need to make sure that the solution is highly available. Yeah. So these are the challenges or the needs, I would say, to make it scalable. We should be able to scale up and down whenever required. Avoid the risky migration, whether it is a on-premise PBX migration to Teams or on-premise PBX or Skype to directly to Teams. We need to make sure that the migration is handled seamlessly so that your end-to-end transactions or end-to-end day-to-day activities are not affected. Need to also make sure that the service what you're adopting is highly available. That's where the SLA comes into picture. I will talk about SLA in my future slides. And again, error-free deployment to have as less impact to your business as possible, operational excellence for sure, and also cost optimization. So how does this Teams telephony help us to resolve all these issues? Yeah. So what exactly are we resolving here? So we are resolving the aging phone or a siloed platform which has got a limited remote working, right? So we are trying to solve that problem with introduction of Microsoft Teams as a PBX. Yeah. So with the Teams as a PBX, what you get a standardized enterprise solution where you have a modern unified communication platform for all your global offices, and you also avoid a lot of on-premise equipments as well. And this also gives you a chance to refresh your legacy room systems. And because it also gets integrated with your UC system, so that's why it becomes very, it's a modern solution so that the two teams room system also gets interacted with your other M365 modalities, like whether it is a SharePoint, OneDrive, Exchange, or chat. Yeah. And what you get is a flexible and a predictable commercial model, pay-as-you-go model, per user, per month cost kind of pricing. So definitely it helps for your capex. And as far as your operational cost is concerned, since everything is moved to cloud, I will show you how exactly it is useful for your day-to-day administration as well. And that reduces your operational cost as well, because you don't need to hire your expensive voice engineers, yeah, because everything is now easy to manage within the Teams portal itself. You can also enable audio conferencing for all your regions. Entity is currently able to provide you audio conferencing number for more than 120 countries across the globe. So you can leverage that offering as well. And as far as your day two activity is concerned, we can also take care of your day two activity. So we have end-to-end managed services, so you don't have to worry about your BAU as well. Okay, so with that, let me also introduce Operator Connect. So what exactly is Operator Connect? Yeah, so Operator Connect is a Microsoft innovation where all the operators like NTT or any operators in the market like PT, they all came together and we are providing you a PSTN connectivity within the Teams portal itself. So it's a fully integrated telephony system within your Microsoft Teams admin center. And what you get is a kind of an easy to manage and easy to provide numbers to the users. So what you get is in the portal itself, you can see all the DID numbers or the service numbers, and just using the console itself, you can manage or assign those numbers, or you can also use Microsoft PowerShell to assign it to the bulk of the users. As far as Entity Operator Connect is concerned, you can see that we have a carrier grade infrastructure which is a globally with the global footprints, and this is the footprint or this is the backbone what we use in order to provide you the voice operator connect feature. And this is a 24/7 365 days support services with more than 300 plus voice experts who are managing this infrastructure. And with all the industry standard encryption and required TLS in place, so that you get the most secured and the modern infrastructure required for your telephony. Apart from that, you can also see that you also get an access to, you get a privileged access because we have a partnership with Microsoft. So if there is any escalation which needs to be done with Microsoft, so you get that immediate access to Microsoft escalation team as well. And you can also see that in the middle pane, end-to-end on-net services. For example, we have backbone connectivity with our partners like Genesys contact center or Cisco WebEx. So for example, if a client, if your agents are using Genesys client and your internal employees are using Teams client, and if they are talking to each other, those calls are free of charge because there is a on-net service which is already in place, and we don't charge for those calls between Genesys agent and your Teams client. And as I mentioned before, ease of management. That's what you get when you embrace Operator Connect. And there are other features as well, like porting the numbers. So if you want to retain your existing numbers, we can also do that. So we can help you port the numbers, or you can also opt for new numbers. Okay, so apart from the numbers, I will come to the coverage part, like how many countries we are currently supporting in terms of cloud calling, which is Operator Connect. But apart from that, on the left-hand side, you can see that we provide 99% availability, which is a shared SLA with Microsoft, because Microsoft also promises the same SLA for Teams as well. Apart from that, we can support dynamic E911 for countries like USA and Canada, call queue, auto attendant, and many other services. On the right-hand side, you can also see the additional services like number porting, compliance recording. So we can also support compliance recording for FSI industries, whether it's an on-premise call recorders like Verba, NICE, or whether it's a cloud-based recording like ASC Dubber, we can support both these solutions. Okay, so this slide talks about the voice coverage currently we are providing across the globe. You can see that currently we are providing Operator Connect for 39 countries, and 8 countries are in preview stage. And there are 3 more countries coming up in next maybe 3 to 6 months. And total, I think it will be almost around 50 countries where we'll be able to support Operator Connect. So which is a cloud-based solution, right? So with that coverage, you can see that in Asia Pacific, we are in Australia, Hong Kong, Japan, New Zealand, Singapore, and Malaysia. And we are also coming up with next releases in China and Thailand. And also we are studying India. Please remember that these countries like China, Thailand, India, they have a very I would say very complicated telco regulations. So we are trying to get the license in these regions as well. Okay, so let's also talk about our voice POPs. So you can see this is the voice POP we have across the globe. In Asia Pacific, we have POPs in Singapore, Tokyo, Melbourne, and Sydney. And all these POPs are interconnected with a high-speed L2 VPN. And we have a Azure pairing, which is a maps pairing with Microsoft for all the POPs across the globe. And yeah, there are additional tier one ISP as a backup also we have in order to give you that redundancy. And for the operational excellence, you can see we have 24/7 monitoring and incident management, and also global distributed NOC to support your incident management. Apart from that, we also have a very customized fraud management system for every customer. For example, when I say fraud management, that if there is there is an incident where customer think that some user is making a huge amount of outbound calls, our system is capable enough to understand that this is more, not normal, and it will automatically stop the user from making call for time being till the issue is addressed. Apart from that, we also have a very innovative methods in order to manage our backbone, voice backbone. So we have an AI-based self-healing mechanism where we have a bot which will keep on which will keep on doing a synthetic transaction and see whether all POPs are reachable or not. And if they find that if there is any issue with the link or any issue with the threshold what we have set in, it will automatically route traffic to the other POP. So that's how we make sure that we give you highest possible SLA and highest possible availability in terms of telephony. All this infrastructure is ISO 21001 certified. This includes our voice services as well as cloud fax services as well. Let's talk about architectural diagram. So what you see on the left-hand side, this is the operator connect model. So operator connect, as I said, it's a cloud-based solution. So if you see here, all your users, the phone icon, what you see, so those are your Teams users. They connect directly to the entity data centers for PSTN. We will talk more about operator connect architecture as well, but this is the very high level model of deployment for Teams. And then there is a connection to Microsoft Teams, and that's how we can deliver Teams telephony. Apart from that, if you have any other additional services like cloud fax or video interop services or contact centers, we should be our compliance recording. You can also connect that with the operator connect itself. So in all in this model on the left hand side, what you see, model A, there is no on-premise infrastructure. Everything is in the cloud. At the bottom of this model A, what you see is a ATA, which is a device which will be installed on-premise. So what exactly is this ATA? So if you have any business requirements where you need to retain your analog ATS, yeah. So if that is the requirement, then we can help you deploy analog ATS, and this ATS will talk directly to our cloud SBCs. So this is only if you have such requirement of maintaining analog fax devices or modems, yeah. But if you are okay to move them to cloud-based fax system, then we also have a cloud fax solution which you can readily oversee. On the right-hand side, what you see is a BYOC deployment model, which is bring your own carrier. So here, if you see that there is a telco picture mentioned there, the PSTN portion. So when we say BYOC, that means you retain your telco contract, whether it's a SIP trunk or whether it's an ISDN kind of connectivity. you retain those telco contracts, and we will help you deploy an on-premise SBC, and then that on-premise SBC will have a SIP trunk to Microsoft Teams, and that's how you will deploy Teams telephony. So because we have seen a lot of global deployments where customer has got presence across the globe, and there might be a lot of countries where we are not able to provide operator connect in those countries, right? So in those scenarios, we can help you deploy BYOC kind of SPCs on premise, and that's how overall across the globe you can adopt Microsoft Teams telephony. And again, after deploying SBC, if you still have any requirements like integrating with on-premise PBXs and having all the other modalities like cloud fax, recording solution, that all can also be done with BYOC. Okay, so this is the high-level overview for Operator Connect architecture. So it's very simple to onboard. On the left-hand side, you can see you go to your Teams admin portal. Under voice, you select your entity as your preferred operator, select the countries where you want to go have this solution onboarded, and select the number of DIDs, and that's it. On the right-hand side, you can see your users are always connecting to your Teams tenant. And then in the backend, we connect to Microsoft data centers using Maps peering and Operator Connect APIs. So basically, as far as security is also concerned, you do not connect directly to entity data centers. You always connect to Microsoft Teams, which most of the customers are already connected to. So it becomes easier for customers to get the security clearance as well. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, so this is what will happen. So once you sign in, once you select the number of numbers you require, you can see those numbers directly in your Teams admin center, and you can either assign them manually or use PowerShell script to do it in a bulk. Okay, so let's talk about why entity. We have already onboarded more than 1.4 million users to Microsoft Teams, and we were the one of the first operator to onboard Operator Connect for Microsoft. And then there are other lot of initiatives what we and Microsoft together do as a partner, like Microsoft Viva or Accelerator Plus, those kind of things. So why do clients choose entity? So basically, it's not only the numbers what we provide. Yeah. So what you see on the screen is we have a very integrated system, what you say, and all the voice requirements what you have, whether they are contact centers, cloud fax, compliance recording, or even your room system refresh, or your managed services for your M365, for example, if you want to manage your Exchange, SharePoint, OneDrive, those all can be managed by entity. So basically, you will have a single vendor who would be responsible and a single neck to choke. As far as entity as a organization is concerned, we are predominantly a network and a telecom company. So you can see that we are number one in data center telegraphy wise. We are top 5 in global IP providers. In fact, more than 50% of internet traffic is being driven on the entity data centers. We have network services in more than 190 countries. And basically, we use this infrastructure, we leverage this infrastructure in order to provide you this Operator Connect solution. Okay, so these are a few of the logos what we recently onboarded. You can see there are a few global brands as well, and I have also added few local brands. You can see from educational institute to FSI, like OCBC Bank, Commonwealth Bank in Australia, airlines, global conglomerate like Keppel, so Fujitsu. So those are the customers we have already onboarded for Microsoft Teams. Let me also walk you through one of the case study. So we also recently concluded Teams migration for one of the Singapore's holding company, which is the largest one. Need not be naming them because everyone knows what is the biggest holding company here in Singapore. So basically, we did a huge transformation project. This was not only for end user DIDs, but also for their room system revamp. So we had one of the most successful and a showcase room system revamp for this company, where since this room system had to be a kind of first class and high level kind of visibility, because a lot of high officials, government officials keep on coming and attend those meetings, right? So basically, when we were awarded this project, the client came up with more than 130 pain points, and that's how we addressed each and every pain point and helped them do the migration from their on-premise to cloud. Okay, so maybe this is a key slide, I would say, because this is our differentiator and a key takeaway from this session. So you can see that we are the #1 partner for Operator Connect. So the number of deployments, DIDs, what we have delivered, that's the highest for any other operator. And as far as ecosystem is concerned, you can say that it's an across M365. So we not only have a voice deep voice expertise, but there are other business requirements also we understand, like cloud fax, analog devices, emergency numbers, and so on and so forth. And apart from that, you can see on the screen that we are also able to provide you cloud voice solution for EX services, which is your contact center services like Genesys Cloud or WebEx contact centers. And apart from that, we can also provide you end-to-end managed services to manage your contact center solutions as well. At the bottom, what you can see is the innovation and the product roadmap, what we have. So you can see that the first point is the cloud voice for EX, which is Dynamic 365, as well as ACS. ACS is Azure Communication Services, which is a CPaaS platform. So for example, if you have a native app, and if you want to have inbuilt voice or video in that app, so that, for example, if you have a banking app, and if users are logging into your banking app, and if they want to have a video or call option so that they can directly reach to their agent, then that can be embedded within that native apps. Those kind of solutions are made available. And we also have a eSIM solution where you do not need to install any Teams client as well on your phone devices. You can have a eSIM solution so that user can use the native dialers and make a call, and that call would be a Teams call. Then there are other innovations as well, like Azure Communication Services Attendant Console, what we are coming up soon. And all this innovation, what we have is because of the automation, what we have put in place. So we are able to deliver this innovation because of the automation, what we have in our backend infrastructure. Okay, so this is maybe the last slide or the last slide what I have in terms of pricing. So you can see that the calling plan what you get. So basically what you buy is you buy a calling plan from us. So there are multiple categories you can select according to your user persona. The best value category is the domestic unlimited, where your users can select this plan, and there will be a pool of numbers, pool of minutes. For example, if you have taken 100 users for this plan, then if you have, for example, 100 minutes, then that 100 minutes get pooled across all the 100 users. And then according to your user persona, you can have plans accordingly, like domestic 180 or domestic and international, like that. Yeah. Okay, one last thing for me. We also do a lot of modern communications workshop. So basically, This is a workshop where we try to understand your infrastructure, what is required in order to have that migration, and we come up with a plan of how exactly that migration can be done. And these are the models what you see when we cover in this workshop. That's it from me. Thank you so much. Over to you, Anna.
Thank you, Praveen. So just one thing before I move forward, do you have another poll that you'd like to launch before we move to
Oh,
Fiona?
yes, I'm sorry. Yes, there is one more poll. Can you please help me launch that?
Okay, thank you. Launching now. One moment, please.
Yeah. Okay, so I think this is a multiple choice question. So which of the following are essential components for you in migrating to Microsoft Teams calling? Understand it, there might be all of them, but you can select the one which you think is the most appropriate for your organization. Okay, it's quite balanced for all the four, which is a good deal, which is understandable. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Over to you, Anna.
Thank you, Praveen. Okay, so before we move over to the panel discussion, let me remind everyone, if you do have any questions, you can type them in the Q&A tab, and we will address them at the panel discussion. Now, let me pass the time over to Fiona to start the panel discussion. Fiona, please.
Thank you, Anna. Miu Ching and Kenneth. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, thank you, Miu Ching, for joining Entity and Microsoft in our fireside. As a partner, we have recently helped you in your big bang global migration from your on-premise Avaya and Nortel PBX to Microsoft Teams Voice. So this was a global voice transformation scattered across countries like US, UK, Luxembourg, and APAC countries like Singapore, Malaysia, and Australia. So maybe perhaps can you share with us, why did OCBC decide to embark on the Microsoft Teams Voice journey?
Actually, just to share a little bit of a background, back before 2017, we already embarked on using Skype as our collaboration tool and communication tools in the bank. So with right now, Microsoft have already announced Teams to replace Skype. There's no reason that we don't align with Microsoft and embark on it, which is as Microsoft Teams have bring much richer features for us to use. On top of that is that we will be able to have lesser platforms to support, so that we will have able to write on the features and reduce the impact on all those operation inefficiencies. So definitely we would like to use only Teams such that we are able to collaborate and communicate better. And of course, as what Kenneth had mentioned earlier, by using Teams, we will allow us to reduce the dependency on on-premise hardware landscape and provide higher availability and resiliency. This is definitely a feature that we would like to write on.
Thank you. So can you share an overview of your migration, like how many users, number of countries, what kind of timeline, did you guys use to implement? Because I know that you guys were one of our bravest clients who did a big bang migration.
Definitely. Okay, this journey is really not easy, but it's really amazing. With the help from entities, we are many successful to migrate about 21K of users from Skype to Teams. On top of that, the landscapes we are covering so far is, of course, Singapore. We have almost all completed. Malaysia is already on it. And right now, I'm definitely working very closely with Praveen and the rest of the entity support to doing more for the rest of our overseas countries. So this is definitely an amazing journey. On top of it is that during this journey, what I want to share a little bit of overview is that planning. A lot of planning must be done with the users, especially with we have very different groups such like finance, group treasury, and all these things. So we can't do a big bang. It must be a group divisions kind of approach. and it must be done in a short time frame such that to reduce the interoperation issues between the migrated user and non-migrated users.
Okay, yeah,
Mm.
I remember that we did this, I think starting from October, I think we ended just about Chinese New Year, so about 4 months.
Yes,
I think in 4 months, we migrated about 21,000 users, and I know every weekend we were doing about 8,000 migration.
yeah, that's a big, huge chunk, yes.
Okay.
With the help of a lot of people, yeah.
Yes, definitely with the help of a lot of people. So, Pravin and Kenneth, perhaps can you share how did NTT and Microsoft assist OCBC in this complete transformation? So, Kenneth, you want to go first?
Okay, yeah, sure. So I think first thing, I thank OCBC for your partnership and all being one of our key customers for Teams as well, right? And I think as what Michin kind of shared, right, this journey and the investment from where Microsoft comes in is really a partnership between NTT, OCBC as well as us. So additional thing in terms of what we had was really our investment of our customer success team, right, to actually provide the governance and all and extended support to the team, moving from POCs to pilots and adoption. Really taking through the customers like OCBC through the entire life cycle. Yeah.
Pravin?
Yeah. So thanks to Mui-Ching and her team. It was a massive transformation for the bank for sure. But yes, so as far as the transformation is concerned, so as you said that were anywhere between 4 to 5 months what it took, but the actual migration was done within 2 months, I would say. So from POC to the batch of users, it to come to that place where the migration is ready. It takes a lot of effort, but then OCBC and NTT we managed to do that for CBC with a very less user impact. Yeah.
Okay. So Mui-Ching, what are your plans now that the big bang migration is complete? What is next for OCBC in terms of your voice journey?
Okay, one of the main things is definitely we'll be using Teams as our main channel for the whole entire OCBC group. Of course, the others is that we will be introducing and ensure all our overseas users as well, our overseas offices, they were able to enjoy the collaboration tool and using Microsoft Teams for us to able to communicate through various meetings as well as any video conferencing sharing.
Okay. So and then how do you encourage user adoption on Teams Voice? Now that you mentioned that there was a lot of we did a big bang, and then you need a lot of different departments to work together. So how do you encourage the user adoption at such a fast pace?
Oh, definitely we will have to have a lot of communication with the users. We have to comms up to all the divisions, and we need to understand their needs, how they use it day to day, or their phones usage, the kind of meetings. On top of that, we prepare videos and quick bite size of guides needed, and then support channel for them when they come on board that time. Where can they get response and supports when they have run into issues? So these are some of the basics that we have to do, ensure the smooth transition as well as the support given to the users.
Yeah, thank you. So Kenneth, I know that Microsoft has change management and user adoption also for Teams for other clients. Maybe you want to share a little bit more how Microsoft can help other clients on this journey too.
Yeah, so I think working with partners and the likes of NTT and all, we do have partner assets or even customer assets that we have actually pre-curated, right? In terms of the communications and the cheat sheet shop was saying in terms of how customers could actually drive change management and adoption. Primarily, I would say that what Mui-Ching kind of did is really orchestrating the entire move and the user buy-ins and all, right? Leading by examples where you have change agents and all. Again, I think this is where we guide our customers as well, through our teams, partners, and all in terms of that service adoption acceleration. Because I think to one point, one thing I kind of like out of Mui-Ching's conversation is really, move fast and reduce the time dependency or the time taken for, coexistence or integration, because that certain point of time, while it's best of breed solution or trying to practice, basically, it kind of just adds additional layer of challenge, right? Versus moving fast. Yeah.
You should feel frustrated.
Yeah.
Pravin, Mujing, and Kenneth, can you share some tips with our audience on the things to take note of in order to have a seamless transition? Pravin, this first.
Yeah, so that's why I said before when we were talking with Mujing for the first question, right? For OCBC, what we did was there was a lot of groundwork which required when we actually before we actually reach to that D-Day, right? When we do the migration. So since for as an entity we have that experience to do this deployment. In fact, even more massive deployments than this one. For example, Commonwealth Bank, we did a migration of more than 45,000 users, and that was also in the same time frame, like 2 to 3 months, if I'm not wrong. And then there was UCL, which is a university in London, 55,000 users. So yeah, so we have those expertise and the experience required in order to do that transition. But yes, what is required is that groundwork so that we understand your infrastructure and what is required, whether all the prerequisites are in place. And yeah, and if all those things are like checkbox are done, then we should be able to do those seamless migrations.
Thank you. Kenneth, you want to?
Yeah, so just gonna add on, right? While I think from Microsoft and our partners, we do have adoption programs and migration programs and everything to support customers through the journey. One thing I probably want to highlight is really think of reusable mechanisms as well as artifacts that you can actually use as part of the rollout of change management. Because primarily, it's not just the pool, it's not just a single finite pool of users that you'll be adopting, right? Or rather, rolling it out to, like what Microsoft said, they're going to expand to the rest of the countries and everything. And again, that adoption process will actually happen. You're going to have new hires within the organizations that could potentially be a need to kind of, out of sight, out of mind, they forgot how to use the function, but there could be toolkits that allows people to do refreshes as well. So again, I think that onboarding materials and adoption materials, reusable artifacts, again, I think I leave the team with this. Yeah.
Okay. Mujing, you want to?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
just
Yes,
need to add one more thing here. So as far as the rapid deployment is concerned, because as Mujing said, that you cannot remain in that hybrid state for longer, right? Because that creates more complexity. So with our model, what we do is we create a template. For example, maybe you have already onboarded one country like Singapore, and you want to onboard other countries like Malaysia, Australia, Hong Kong, which has got operator connect. So you can use that model and you can onboard users as soon as like maybe less than 1 or 2 weeks as well. So those kind of things also help. Those templates helps.
Okay. As for me, my personal experience is with the Teams migration as well as Skype migration is the most harder is that take away the hard phone from the user's desk. Especially some of the users, they are really they are diehard fan. They doesn't like to wear the headset and all those things. So that is one of the things that how to educate the users and ensure them that having Teams tools for them to make phone call is as easy as what they do now. During COVID time, we can still meet in such a way. So those kind of benefit we bring towards the users and educate them, make them from using the collaboration tools to enjoy the most the visible, we can view each others, we can talk to him more friendly and more bonding rather than just a hardcore phone using a hardware type of things. So that has to spend a bit of effort to make the users do away their phones, hard phones.
Yeah, I guess I think users will perhaps jump in a very fact of use case. I think just gonna add on, right? You have actually seen that the way that we work have actually moved from a quick chat to a quick call and then pulling people into a meeting. Basically, their convenience and accessibility of connectivity and collaboration. I think this is actually where the users will see value. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so as a final question, Pravin and Kenneth, maybe you can share how Microsoft and NTT can assist other organizations in their Microsoft Teams voice journey. Kenneth, you want to go first?
Yeah. So NTT is our trusted partner, right? We given the heritage and the skill set and all that you actually have, particularly in terms of communications and collaboration, coupled with the fact of the capabilities of the parent company, the connectivity. I think Operator Connect basically just gels the whole thing together for NTT in terms of delivering this service together with Microsoft Teams. We're really proud to actually have you as one of our key partners.
Thank you.
Yeah, for entity, I would say we do a lot of workshops before we actually get into the deployment stage. So, for example, the Microsoft Modern Communication workshop, or also the free trials what we gave, right? So that will give you an idea like how exactly this solution will look like. Even the room system integration or compliance recording, or maybe I would say CDF, which is a cloud deployment framework what we run in order to understand if you have a very huge complex environment. So what is your network requirement? What are your voice requirement? What are your security requirements? So those things all can be assessed, and a plan can be built in order to have that seamless transition for your organization. That's where we come, we bring value. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Now to answer some Q&A questions, Anna, over to you.
Sure, we do have a question from one of our attendees. So the question is, what is the difference between direct routing and Operator Connect?
Okay, happy to take that one. Okay, so basically, direct routing is what you establish between your infrastructure. So it can be on-premise SBC and Microsoft. So the relationship what you establish, that is termed as direct routing. So you can have your on-premise SBC or on a PBX, and you have a Teams telephony with Microsoft Teams, but you require an on-premise infrastructure for that. But Operator Connect is the same. It's a direct routing as a service, I would say, because it's on a cloud. So it is also direct routing, but it's a cloud-based solution. Anna?
Great, thank you. So apologies, everyone. We are actually out of time. So that's the only question that we can take for now. But I do want to thank all of you, especially our speakers, for the insightful presentations and discussions. Before we conclude, though, I do want to have take a moment to just have everyone to fill up our event survey to receive a grab e-card. You can also indicate your interest for a free trial of Operator Connect or a fully funded modernized communication workshop to get to know more about Operator Connect. You can also access the online survey from the chat box or visit the URL displayed on your screen. And once again, to our speakers, thank you so much for today. And also, of course, our attendees for joining us. And we do wish you all a great day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very
Have a good
much.
one. Cheers. Bye.